Hey guys, so in this video we're going to go over a high-end rifle build that I've been working on. The base damage for my Classic M1A is going to be 446,000. And then I'm just running a shotgun as a backup. I like using the 612 or the military M870 because it does a good job of staggering enemies in case I get pushed. What makes up the build is 2 pieces of Providence Defense, 1 piece of Walker Harris, 1 piece of Grupo Sombra, 1 piece of Cesca Veroba, and 1 piece of Overlord Armaments. So to start off, we'll go over the mask. I'm using the Providence Defense mask. So I have 2 pieces from this set. So I have 15% headshot damage and then 10% critical hit chance. And then my roll is max weapon damage at 15. My crit hit chance is 5.4. The max for this field is 6. 11.6 crit hit damage, max is 12% for this field, and then I have max crit hit damage as a mod on there at 12%. Next, for the chest piece, I'm using Walker and Harris, so it gives me 5% weapon damage. I have max weapon damage here at 15%. My crit hit chance is 4%. The max is 6% for this field. Then I have max crit hit damage at 12%, and then my mod is 10.6 crit hit damage, so the max is 12% here. The talent I have on this chest piece is called Unbreakable, and whenever your armor is depleted, you'll automatically have 95% of your armor instantly repaired. For the holster, I'm using Grupo Sombra for the 15% crit hit damage. Since I'm already running 2 pieces of Providence, I could just make this be a Providence piece as well, because both will give me crit hit damage, but I just haven't got a better Providence piece to drop for me, at least for the holster. For the core attribute, I have max armor at 170,000, and then for my attributes, I have 5.2 crit hit chance, and then 11 crit hit damage. So 6% is the max for this field, and then 12% is the max for this field. And for the backpack, I'm running the Cesca Veroba for the 10% crit hit chance. If I didn't run this piece, I would only be at about 55% or 56% for my M1A for crit hit chance. For my core attribute, I have 14.3 weapon damage, 15% is the max for this field. For the attributes, I have 8.1 headshot damage, I believe 10% is the max for this field. I have 11.2 crit hit damage, 12 is the max for this field. And then I have a mod of 11.2 crit hit damage as well. The talent on the backpack is called Composure, so whenever you're in cover, your weapon damage is automatically increased by 15%. So that's a really nice buff to have, because with this build, you're going to be in cover a lot. Next, for the gloves, I'm running the Providence piece, so with the 2-piece bonus, now I have the critical hit chance increase of 10%. Weapon damage, I have 14.6%, max would be 15. For attributes, I have 11.8 crit hit damage, 12 would be the max here. And then I have 5.8 crit hit chance, and 6 is the max in this field. And lastly, for the knee pads, I'm using the Overlord Armaments for the 10% rifle damage. My core attribute is 14.2 weapon damage, 15 is the max here. And for the attributes, I have 8% damage to targets out of cover, and then I have max crit hit chance at 6%. So for the weapon I'm using, my main weapon is going to be the Classic M1A. The damage is 446,000. All of my fields are really close to being max. I have 14.3 for rifle damage. This is 15% max, and then I have 16% crit hit damage. And then attributes, I have almost max optimal range at 23%. The weapon talent on my M1A is called Boomerang. Critical hits have a 50% chance of being returned to the magazine, and when a bullet's returned to the magazine, then the next bullet will have a 40% increased damage. So in my opinion, I think Boomerang is a top tier weapon talent for this build, because I'm going to be doing a lot of crits. I'm at 60% crit hit chance, and then I have 147 crit hit damage as well. So 60% of my shots in the magazine are going to be crits, so I'm going to be getting a lot of bullets returned to the magazine. The weapon mods I'm using on my M1A, I have a scope that gives me 5% crit hit chance, and then the underbarrel gives me 5% crit hit chance as well. And then for the magazine, I have an additional 5 rounds per magazine. So now my mag is up to 15 rounds. So along with having Boomerang on this, it's very common for me to get 20 to 21 shots per mag. With this build, almost everything is going into red, except for 1 blue, which is on my holster. And I put max armor on there just so I wouldn't be a complete glass cannon. But my armor is still kind of low at 891,000, so because of that, I like running the Ballistic Shield. Whenever I have the shield deployed, it's going to give me an additional 1.9 million HP, and that's going to be really useful because you are going to be squishy with this amount of armor. And then just for reference, my watch level is at 184. I have 36 points put into crit hit chance. I have 1 point into headshot damage. I have 1 point put into skill repair, 36 points put into skill haste, 37 points put into accuracy, and then 37 points put into total armor. In this build, if you didn't want to have any blue at all and you just wanted to go completely red, then on your holster, then I would just swap out my armor and then put the 15% max weapon damage. So if you have max weapon damage in that field, that would take my damage from 446 up to 477. So it's a pretty big increase. But having said that, you'd go from 891,000 armor down to 741. So you'd be a complete glass cannon. But your damage would be significantly higher for sure. Overall, this build has a lot of damage. You're going to be doing a lot of crits, and then your crit hit damage is really good, I think, at 147%. If you end up getting Boomerang on your gun, then it's going to really increase your sustained DPS, and it's going to allow you to just keep shooting longer and longer. Whenever I'm doing alert for control points, I have no problem just destroying enemies. If I'm doing a heroic mission with a full group where the enemy is a little more tankier, I still feel like I do a lot of damage and I'm really happy with it. So the only downfall with this build is, of course, the armor isn't that high, and then recovering whenever your health does get low. I do have the chest piece that has Unbreakable on it, so this is very helpful. But whenever you do have this cooldown and you get down to 0 health, then it's tough to get your health back. You're going to have to use all 3 charges from your chem launcher to get back up to full health, and that may not even get you to full health. But I think the pros outweigh the cons in this build because you are just doing so much damage. Then with Boomerang on your gun, you're getting those crits back into the magazine, and whenever those get returned, then you're doing 40% more damage with those returned bullets. And finally, you're able to engage an enemy from a pretty safe distance compared to running a shotgun or SMG build or even an AR build. I would recommend running a shotgun or something in your secondary that can stagger an enemy. That's why I like the shotgun. I'm purposely just making this an entirely high-end build, but if I was going to run some exotics in this in my secondary, I'd 100% be running the Scorpio, because like the 612, it's going to stagger enemies, but then also it's just going to have better damage. And then you have poison, disorient, and shock damage being done to the enemy as well. And then for armor, if I was going to use a exotic piece, then I just run the momentum backpack, because with this backpack I'm going to get buffs to weapon damage, and then I'm going to get additional armor every time I get a kill. To close out the video, I'm going to have a couple minutes of gameplay just so you have a point of reference to see how this build operates and performs. So before we get to the gameplay, I just want to say thank you for watching. If the video was helpful, a like would be appreciated, and consider subscribing as well. So we'll get to the gameplay footage, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.